So one of the things that strikes me as being interesting, maybe a little worrying, since In Search of Excellence was published, is we've seen a couple of trends. One is the widespread prevalence of what I'll just call bad jobs, just jobs, irregular hours, poor pay, no room for advancement, treating people like badly performing robots, basically. Second is this tour of duty career idea, where instead of developing as a frontline manager, you kind of go on 3-year cycles from firm to firm. And I was talking to an entrepreneur, a woman entrepreneur, some weeks ago, and she said, the trouble is by the time the company's looking for people in their 30s to take on those jobs, those people have moved on, they're elsewhere. And I just can't get over the idea that somehow we've made a wrong turn somewhere in this, the way that we deploy human capital.
Yeah, obviously, the so-called gig economy is the epitome of that. Well, I think it's been going on longer than that. Lifetime employment was the norm. Maybe not. I think it was when we did In Search of Excellence, which was 82. And I remember when I switched, my father worked for the same company for 44 years.
Where did he work?
I remember when I switched jobs, time number one, he wasn't infuriated, but he was, oh my God, you mean you're going to have 2 jobs in your lifetime? So, this thing has been going on for a long time. Here's my only disagreement with your entrepreneur pal. I once put together everything I knew. I give speeches with slides, and I ended up with a 4,096 slide long presentation with 100,000 words of annotation. And statistically speaking, 4,000 slides, one of them's got to be first. And the one I put in first came from the crazy entrepreneur Richard Branson, and it said, businesses have to give people enriching, rewarding lives, or they're not worth doing. So I think maybe in finding that talent, your entrepreneur friend has a problem, but once she gets a reasonably decent set of people, it's in her hands and it's her responsibility. And I believe that approached right, per Mr. Branson, I can hold on to somebody for a pretty long period of time. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about, in part because given the new technology, and of course working from home has changed everything at some extent overnight, and it also weakens certain kinds of interpersonal bonds. So to some extent, that means loyalty even goes further down the tubes. But I think I can hold on to people if I really, first and foremost, am focused on their future. If I help them get better, well, there's somebody said, and it is one of those one-liners, if you care about what they care about, then they'll care about what you care about. And I believe, given the changes, that the number one job of every employer is to make sure that every human being who works for them, even if it's a temporary assignment, walks out of that assignment as a person better prepared for the future than they were 8 weeks ago. 1,000 years ago, when he was, between Steve Jobs' tenure, John Scully ran Apple Computer, and he wrote a book about it. And he said,
Odyssey, I remember that.
Yeah. And he said, I can't promise you a job for life. I can't promise you a job for a year. I can't promise you a job for 6 months, but I can promise you that whatever period of time you work for us, you will have learned more of value than you could have any other place in the world. And, you know, that's a very powerful statement.